the Unknown King, Missing Number, the Bad Egg. These are some of the most famous legends and theories that accidentally emerged thanks to glitches in the Pokemon games, and far from rejecting them, I've always embraced and enjoyed them like anyone else, so I felt like they deserved a full video of their own. Did 1,025 Pokemon seem like too few to you? Don't worry, because today I'm going to reveal many more with glitch Pokemon. At first, my intention was to make a compilation video covering every generation. But once I started digging into the first generation and saw just how many glitch Pokemon there were, I realized the video would have been at least 40 minutes long, so I'm splitting it into two parts. Today we're covering Generation 1, and in a second video, we'll tackle the rest. So with that said, let's dive into a world where logic and everything you thought you knew about the franchise simply don't apply. A world where even legendary Pokemon can somehow evolve from other Pokemon. I'll only be talking about the ones from Pokemon Red and Blue, since the differences in yellow are minimal and honestly not worth going into here. In this video, we'll go over both the names and some curious traits of the different glitches, so if I move quickly through a few of them, just know there wasn't much else worth highlighting. How about we start with a glitch Pokemon closely related to Missing Number, M00, a normal bird-type Pokemon. Yes, you heard that right. Bird type, a scrapped type that only existed during the first and second generations. This glitch Pokemon is generally considered the counterpart to the Missing Number glitch, often referred to as its brother, since they share the same Pokédex Sprite Index number and are found exclusively in Pokemon Red and Blue. Now that said, the two are very different. For example, M00 is able to evolve into Kangaskhan and Clefable, whereas MissingNo can't evolve at all. On top of that, its battle cry is a slightly altered version of Zapdos's cry, just pitched a bit higher. Meanwhile, the sound it makes when you open its summary screen is Raiden's cry. I'm not going to show the stats for every single Pokemon, but just so you understand the level we're dealing with, they all have specific base stats assigned to them, and generally speaking, they're weird. So unless there's something especially noteworthy, I won't keep bringing up stats over and over again. And to show you how hardcore this video is getting, this glitch Pokemon actually evolves from another glitch Pokemon called P4 Pokédollar. It's a glitch fighting type, and its second type completely random. It changes every single time you open the Pokemon menu. Oh, and its cry? It's the jingle that plays when you catch a Pokemon. And if you think it stops there, nope, because F5, another glitch Pokemon, evolves into M00 at level 34. Now let's move on to its brother, the infamous MissingNo. It has the same typing as M00, normal bird, but in Pokemon Yellow, the bird type gets replaced with Type 999. Like many glitch Pokemon, it uses Raiden's cry, but unlike its brother, as I mentioned before, it can't evolve, and it doesn't learn new moves by leveling up. By the way, here's a fun fact you might not know about MissingNo. If you transfer it to Generation 2, it will be holding a Carbos, and beyond the iconic glitch sprite you already know, MissingNo can actually appear in several different forms, like these sprite variations that ended up fueling tons of creepypastas back in the day. Let's move on to A, an extremely basic Pokemon. So basic that it's normal. Yes, pure, normal type squared. This Pokemon also can't evolve, can't learn any HMs. Honestly, it barely even breathes, and it shares its cry with the move sync. In that sense, it's very similar to another glitch Pokemon called PKMNN, a fighting type glitch Pokemon whose cry is the same as A, and which plays the Lavender Town theme when stored in the PC. And if we add a ko to A's name, we get our next glitch Pokemon, the first hybrid Pokemon. If you don't know what hybrid Pokemon are, they're glitch Pokemon created from altered data of specific Pokemon. In this case, it's based on Satoshi Tajiri's favorite Pokemon, Poliwhirl, naturally a water type. Fun fact, it learns the move Horn attack 6 times per level. There's also a hybrid for its evolution, Poliwrath, called LM4. It shares types with its hybrid predecessor, and its cry is a slowed down version of Pallet Town's music. LM4 is one of the few hybrid Pokemon that can actually evolve. It evolves Clefairy at level 18, then immediately into Nidoking, then back into Clefairy, creating an endless loop that only stops if you press B. Speaking of Nidoking, there's also a glitch Pokemon called PT, the male symbol Pokemon, whose cry is Nidoking's. Next up is C1, a normal ground type. What's interesting about C1 is that it serves to introduce a concept. Glitch Pokémon are divided into families based on whether they share certain traits, movesets, sprite indices, or Pokédex numbers. I won't go too deep into this because it's not strictly necessary, but it gives you an idea of how complex glitch Pokémon can be. Then there's point 4, whose typing is even weirder than bird type. It's a Pokémon type and a Cog Glitch 27. Super weird. On top of that, when you view its Pokédex entry, a chaotic, never-ending tune plays that actually prevents the player from continuing the game. H-Poke is another hybrid Pokémon, this time based on Gengar, so it's ghost poison. And if you're wondering about its cry, it changes every time you check the menu depending on the last Pokémon cry played, which can actually freeze the game. In fact, if you play its cry repeatedly, it starts stacking and can produce an endless, high-pitched beat. And it's not the only Gengar-based hybrid glitch Pokémon, AG is another, and it can also freeze the game with its cry. Next up is Poke W Trainers, another glitch Pokémon. Its cry matches the wild Pokémon defeated music and even replaces the background music when it enters battle. On top of that, if you check its Pokédex after catching it, it transforms into a Raiden. This Pokémon also causes a very strange glitch. If you send it into battle and the fight ends, many of the protagonist's sprites start sliding down the screen. Then there's You. If you transfer it to Pokémon Yellow, it turns into GG. I just mentioned that because the name is hilarious. Its cry is similar to Drowsy and Hypno, a trait it shares with the Pokémon P, which has no additional data. Now let's look at 8, another hybrid, this one based on Onix. This Pokémon will freeze the game if it reaches level 204. However, if you somehow obtain it above that level, it can evolve into Charizard at level 240. And it's not the only Onix hybrid. BDA is one too. Moving on to another normal ground type, PC4SH, which isn't particularly remarkable except that it has the highest total stats of all glitch Pokémon tied with Poke W Trainers. If we continue with B alone, you'll see it's a normal flying hybrid of Pidgeotto. Checking its Pokédex triggers an endless glitch tune that disables the console's buttons. Along with H-Poke, this Pokémon is also the tallest and heaviest of all Pokémon, 24 meters tall and weighing 2,766 kilograms. And now we move on to a particularly curious glitch Pokémon called Trainers. It shares the same sprite as Magnemite, and like Magnemite in Generation 1, is electric type. It's clear this is a Magnemite hybrid, and it's one of the few glitch Pokémon that can actually decompress its base Pokémon sprite correctly. That said, it doesn't evolve. There's also another glitch Pokémon called -PKMN, which is almost identical and uses the same sprite. Another hybrid is WGT, this time based on Arbok, making it a poison type. Fun fact, glitch Pokémon sprites are usually pixel distortions of the hybrid Pokémon they're based on. And I say this because from now on, you'll notice the Pokémon names start to look like we're playing Battleship, and it even has a cry that fits, sounding almost like a machine gun. Also, checking its summary screen will play a snippet of the music from the area you're currently in. Next is E3. No, it wasn't dead, guys. It just became a Generation 1 glitch Pokémon. E3 is interesting because its type is based on the trainer class of the last NPC you battled. Then, of course, comes E4, which is bug type. As they say, second parts are rarely better, and honestly, there's nothing else to note about this one. After that comes Capital C, whose interesting quirk is that it has a speed of 0 and starts with a move called Trainer Y. Its cousin, lowercase c, a bug type, shares Charmander's cry, just like another glitch Pokémon called PKMN-C5. Finally, we have V, another glitch-type Pokémon. The weird thing about this one is that the game actually recognizes its name as a proper string, so the player has to press A multiple times just to access its summary menu. Also, this Pokémon evolves into Cubone at level 6, then into Arcanine and Nidoran at level 16, and finally into Slowpoke at level 40. That's more evolutions than Eevee has. Next up, PKMN, APKMN, male symbol, FP, KMNK. Wow, talk about a long name, but its quirks are worth it. This is a glitch Pokémon so broken that when it enters battle, it can produce a variety of effects on the opponent's Pokémon, like poisoning the entire player's team. Insane, right? If this Pokémon is caught, the sprite of the associated overworld will slide endlessly down the screen until it disappears. Now for Batman's favorite Pokémon, Glitch DC, a normal flying hybrid of Pidgeotto. That's as far as European versions would let me read. But interestingly, in Japanese versions, this Pokémon is slightly different. It's one of the only 3 Pokémon able to evolve into Mew, doing so at level 33. Of course, it had to be that number. Then there's 7 PKMN, another Generation 1 hybrid capable of actually using its sprite. This one is based on Tentacruel. Like some glitch Pokémon, as it levels up, it can learn super glitch moves. These are moves with strange mechanics that can cause bizarre effects on the receiving Pokémon. For example, inflicting burns, immediately weakening the opponent, or dropping their HP nearly to 0. Next up is .PKMN, which seems like an allegory for the Pokémon Company, at least currently. This glitch Pokémon's cry matches Pikachu's, and it has a menu sprite of a fat NPC that, well, let's just say it looks very inappropriate. This is very different from Down Arrow PKMN, a Dodrio hybrid whose sprite looks elongated like a trainer, but is actually based on Bulbasaur. This Pokémon is almost indistinguishable from Ebb, which shares the same sprite. Now we get to a glitch Pokémon that could have sparked its own legends, EC. One of its types is the 19th form of Arceus, the triple question mark type. It seems Arceus was hidden even in the data of Generation 1, because aside from this type, it also has normal type. Coincidence? I don't think so. Given all the letters in its name, 2 of them had to reference Arceus. Also, if this Pokémon is sent into battle, well, most of the time the game glitches. But if you manage to have a trainer send it out, its name changes to 999,999, and it gets an oversized HP bar. Very godlike, right? Next is Archie, whose cry is the same as Starmie's. Its back sprite depends on the opponent's previous Pokémon, but randomly, because a single Pokémon can produce multiple sprites. Looking at its types, they appear completely blank, so you can't tell exactly what types it has. The same happens with Pokémon M Dollars, except it doesn't have a cry. Our next glitch Pokémon is called .G. Seriously, I still can't believe there's a Pokémon with that name. Its type is basically Bug Glitch, which is even funnier in English. On top of that, it can evolve at any level into XPO. Now we enter the F family in the chat, starting with F2, a glitch, flying type. If left in the PC, it changes the background music to a slowed down version of Cinnabar Island's theme, at least until you leave the Pokémon Center. Its child, F3, is electric type and a Raichu hybrid. Our next glitch Pokémon, F4, is a baby type. Baby of which Pokémon? I'd guess Raticate, because it uses its own cry. Fun fact, it evolves MissingNo at level 195. Now on to XC, another glitch-type Pokémon, literally banned for NPCs in the game. If an NPC tries to send it into battle, it will automatically crash, though players can use it without issue. Apparently this is a Pokémon reserved only for the chosen. Let's quickly run through a group of glitch Pokémon that don't have major quirks, so we can clear them fast. G.MP normal type, Wigglytuff hybrid, PKMN, PKMNT normal, normal type 8, B484. Fighting Water evolves from the very long-named Pokémon we saw earlier. Pokémon 4 Hours, very heavy, normal type, does nothing else. PKMN, RPKMN, Komiya Pokemaniac type. Finally, the last glitch Pokémon in the video is 94, with a typing we wouldn't see again until Pokémon Legends, Normal Ghost. On top of that, it learns more moves than any other Pokémon by far. Extra fun fact, if the player is defeated by this Pokémon, its sprite changes color to indicate dominance. Well guys, I think just because this video is so interesting and because of all the research I put into it, you might as well hit that subscribe button right there. It costs nothing. Don't make me beg. I know some of you were already about to close the video, and yes, you're probably thinking, he doesn't care, I'm not subscribing anyway. Well, I'm a fortune teller, and I could go on like this all day, so just subscribe already, and let's wrap it up. I'll leave the other video I uploaded to this channel right here, but for now, see you next week.